Well, we played good defense most of the night, and that's what won it for us, but I was very impressed with Canisius. To come in here and play that well is a credit to Reggie and his team. I was very impressed with Canisius tonight. And it was a good lesson for our team because this is a conference where last year, the last place team played us in the finals. And St. Peter's and Monmouth went home early, Siena went home early. And when you're in a conference like this where everybody's pretty much equal on a given night, you got to bring your fundamentals or you're going to go home. So it was a good learning lesson for us.
Rick Elijah was in here earlier and he mentioned that this was a learning experience for this group. Only 4 turnovers in the second half. How satisfied were you with how you cleaned it up at halftime?
Well, our turnovers were not only on the guy passing, but the guy receiving. I mean, Nelly had 2 turnovers. He's got to catch the ball, look it into his hands. It's like the receiver that goes out and he's thinking of the next 5 yards he's going to gain rather than look the ball into your hands and catch it. So, you don't see too many turnovers with receivers making the play. And tonight that was the case of about 5 turnovers tonight. So it wasn't a great performance by us, but we got the victory. I thought Dylan made a couple of really good drives to change momentum in the game and get us the victory.
Ball moved well, though. 23 assists on 27 made field goals. What can you say about how well it's done?
Well, I think all season long been a top 20 assist team in the country, number 1 in the league. That's been a strength of ours. Free throw shooting has not been, and that's why we didn't play exceptionally well tonight. When you miss 2 free throws, it's a turnover. That's what it is. It's a turnover, and quite a few times we did that tonight, especially Nelly. But we went with Osborne, and Osborne didn't rebound well defensively, but he played very well at the offensive end.
Coach, how did you feel about your depth? You had 11 players in the game today, and you had, as Coach Witherspoon was talking about, you were able to rest Nelly Jr Joseph a bit, and Osborne came in and
I wasn't resting him. I was pissed off.
But then Osborne came in, so splitting that position, you've got 2 players. How do you feel about your depth?
I think we got good depth. I don't think Walter played well tonight, and I don't think Quinn played very well tonight. So I don't think our depth won it for us. I do think we have depth. We lost a little bit with Trey James going out. It's been really, really tough here trying to keep Osborne together. I went out the other night, just got him Sal's Pizza in Mamaroneck, Sicilian. I said, just eat 2 slices of this just to keep your weight up. And I brought it to him at night, the pizza, just to try and keep weight on him. And it's really, really difficult with him.
Coach, when Canisius went on the run the end of the first half and then 6-1 and starting the second half, what do you say to your team about defense in those situations?
Well, I think the missed free throws hurt momentum, but they made some really good shots. They were a disciplined team. I was very, very impressed with Canisius. Very impressed with Reggie. Very impressed with Canisius. It's not easy coming in here and playing a team that's undefeated. Things aren't going great for you, and to play that hard, to play that well, it's a credit to their program. Very impressed with them. I was impressed with them more than us tonight, even though we got the victory.
Coach, you gave Jordan Wildy the start tonight. You gave Duas the start on Sunday. Coming from the same place, and either way, what did you think of Wildy?
Jordan wasn't ready to start. I gave him a look, but he's not ready physically. He's not ready mentally. There were so many times where he didn't block out. He didn't flash to the ball when they were trapping us, and instinctively he's not ready. But he is going to be a very good player. I've got a lot of confidence in his ability, but he's too light. He's too weak physically, but I wanted to give him a shot going into the playoffs just so I know who's ready and who's not ready, and he's not ready.
To follow that up, winning the regular season is an accomplishment, but how do you get these guys to stay focused and not rest on their laurels?
I think we practice so hard, that's not a problem. I think when you look at this game tonight, it's a matter of missed free throws, it's a matter of turnovers. And it's really, we have 15 turnovers against a team that doesn't turn people over. And you take those missed free throws, you got about 22 turnovers. But you turn it around defensively, they shoot 38% for the game, 18% from 3. So you're playing good defense, and that's what wins it on a given night. I don't think it's a problem with focus for us. I think there were so many lessons to be learned tonight. Dylan's got to stop with the referees making the faces and stop. The referees are tired of it. And you're not gonna get away with a Jamie Lucky of making faces at him. The other guys will tolerate it, but Jamie Lucky's not gonna tolerate it. So it's a lesson for Dylan. He totally changed the game. It was like a 4 or 5 point play with that technical.
How do you approach this idea that it seemed like you were coming into this game with an upward trajectory, and this might be a bit bump in the road as you try to...
You know, so many people if you look at professional basketball, the toughest games to play are not when you're playing the Celtics or the Sixers. The toughest games to play are when you go in and you play a team in like Cleveland, or not Cleveland, Cleveland's a bad example.
Celtics did it with Detroit the other week.
Yeah, you know, you go in and it's just mentally, the other team knows they've got to play great to not get blown out and embarrassed. And too often, all of us, not me, too often other people watching the game, don't give credit where credit's due. Canisius played excellent, played really hard. And we've been practicing terrific. We're on an uptick. We're doing good things. And when you look at the defensive numbers that we've had, you know, we had field goal percentage was down, 3-point we didn't rebound the ball well tonight, but that's Osborne. Osborne's physically weak, didn't have a defensive rebound in the game. But give them credit. It's not easy to, you know, obviously because we've had great success in the tournament. I'm not going into that tournament a confident man. I know we have to play well each night out. This league is very, very close. Monmouth could beat us, Fairfield could beat us, Marist could beat us. Anybody could beat us, and we can beat anybody. Obviously, we're having a great season with a tough schedule. What are we now, 23-5? Is that correct? 23-5. It's a hell of a season with the likes of the people we have played non-conference. And it's only going to get, you know, next year we've got St. Louis at home, we've got Seton Hall in the Garden, we got the Diamond Head Classic out in Hawaii. We're going to play in the Barclays Center again. We're going to play in the UBS Center again. You know, we got the Garden, so we're going up with our schedule, and we just got to make sure we're there.
Coach, early in the year you were talking about with Berrick to do more than just defense, and tonight he had 9 points. He was looking to shoot 5 rebounds. You feel like he's becoming a better all-around player?
I think Berrick is not having as good a year as he had last year, but I think there were a lot of reasons for that. One's COVID-related, injury-related. He's had a lot of injuries this year. He's had COVID. He's sat out a long time, but I think he's coming on now, which is good.
Coach, how would you grade this game? You've been grading them all along.
I just watched 5 minutes of the film.
Coach, maybe we see a lot of leadership coming from Elijah Joyner. Obviously, a good performance today, but you just see that he's becoming a strong leader of the team. How do you see his leadership?
I think he's the vocal leader of the team, the spiritual leader of the team. You know, we recruited 2 really good players with Elijah and Tyson. Replacing them is not going to be easy. Obviously, we got to look at the portal for 1 or 2 players this year. And I hope we come up as lucky as we did with those 2 guys.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.